the next few minutes, we are going to talk about what are some of the main indicators of global climate change and what they tell us about the state of the climate as it has been in the past, but also what we can project about its behavior in the future. So I have with me here the World Meteorological Organization annual statement on the status of the global climate. In this report, we track the behavior of a key set of what we call headline indicators, which together give us a kind of a comprehensive understanding about what the state of the climate is overall. Now, one of those headline indicators is the global temperature, and that makes sense. We talk about global warming, so temperature clearly has to be one of these indicators, but we talk about temperature for another reason. Under the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change and the Paris Agreement that was agreed to in 2015, the ambition is to limit the increase in the global temperature to between 1.5 and 2 degrees above pre-industrial levels. So temperature is not only an important indicator of the climate, it is an important indicator of the success of the implementation of the Paris Agreement. Now, temperature can be modeled and projected using something we call general circulation models, which solve equations of energy and mass transfer and heat transfer with various assumptions about emissions levels going 20, 50, 80, and 100 years into the future. And this gives us an idea about what the temperature will do in the future. I'm not going to go into what those projections are because the authoritative source that you should consult on that is produced by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So instead, I'm going to talk about what some of the other indicators are and what they also tell us in addition to temperature and why they're important. So what does this report say? 2017 was among the warmest 3 years on record, and the 5 years from 2013 to 2017 were the warmest 5 years on record. So the world is clearly getting warmer, and we don't need a general circulation model to tell us that. But we also, when we consult the other headline climate indicators, know that carbon dioxide in 2016, which is the most recent data we have, was 403 parts per million, the concentration in the atmosphere. That is the highest CO2 concentration on record. Precipitation is another key headline indicator. We would like to know what precipitation is going to do in the future. We would like to track what it has done in the past. Unfortunately, precipitation is not only one of the most important headline indicators, it's also one of the most difficult ones to measure and model. One of the most important and I think overlooked headline indicators are in the oceans. First of all, the oceans absorb 94% of the heat that is being trapped due to this increase in carbon dioxide. If it weren't for the oceans capturing all that heat, this planet would resemble something like the planet Venus. So far we are being saved by the fact that the oceans are absorbing heat like crazy. But that is also causing other problems. It is causing the sea ice to melt. According to this report, the Arctic sea ice in 2017 was the 8th lowest summer minimum on record. And this is consistent with a trend in the reduction of the Arctic ice sheet. There are also signs that the Antarctic ice sheets are beginning to thin out and eventually may collapse. So when you put the heat thermal expansion of the oceans together with that melting ice, you get another headline indicator, which is sea level rise. Sea level rise is one of the most problematic of the headline indicators for society because as the sea level rises, the low-lying areas, many of which are very sort of densely populated, will be inundated. So the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which I mentioned earlier, does every 5 or 6 years a comprehensive review of not only the status of these indicators as they have been in the past, but also what we can tell from the global climate models going forward. And they review the published research, and representatives that are nominated by their governments agree on how likely these different changes are in the future. So I would urge you to consult the IPCC summary for policymakers, which is including in the learning resources, in order to find out more specifics about what the IPCC has reported.